next exercise, a shoulder press. Again, you can do this without weight, but if you do have access to dumbbells, you can add the dumbbell aspect to it as well. So we're going to stand in place. Your arms are shoulder width apart and making that L shape. All you're going to do is press to the ceiling and back down. Press up, back down. Now remember, when you're doing this, your core is constantly engaged. You want to suck that tummy into your spine, keeping everything super tight. That's the good thing about full body workouts, is you're constantly holding everything super, super tight. So we have Shazia here without any weight, and she's pressing using her shoulders. You're going to start feeling that intense burn in her shoulder, right in here. That's where you want to feel it. Again, form is key with this one. Core stays tight, press towards the ceiling, and back down. Now with Sarah here, we have a little bit of resistance with these dumbbells. Same type of movement, so adding just a little bit of that resistance, you're going to feel that burn in the upper body. Good. Pressing all the way out. You always want a slight bend to the elbow, so never hyperextend anything when we do exercises. This goes for lower as well. Awesome job, ladies. I know your arms must be burning. I can see it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into a back movement. So when we are doing upper body, we have to work all parts of the upper body. You can't just work your chest. You can't just work your shoulders. We got to add all body parts. So we're going to move into a back movement. Now, we're going to bend slightly at your torso. Your arms are straight, and we're going to do a rowing motion. All you do is come up, row, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and back down. Now, the key to any back workout or exercise is squeezing your shoulder blades. Pretend that you have a pencil right in between your shoulder blades and you're trying to hold it together. So you're coming down, squeeze, and back down, keeping your core tight. Shazia is not using any weight, but she's getting just as much of a burn because she's using her shoulder muscles. A lot of it's that mind muscle control. Sarah here, the superstar, you're a superstar too, but we're just going to add a little bit of weight to her. So we're going to go ahead and squeeze those shoulder blades. Really, really make sure we squeeze, always keeping form. Form is key with all of these exercises. You'll only get the benefits if you are keeping your form. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to another back exercise. We got to do back extensions. I love back extensions because it really helps to strengthen that lower back and everything surrounding your core. So we're going to go ahead and get on the ground. And I like to call these Supermans, mainly because it looks like you're flying or like you're in a Superman position. And all you're going to do is we're going to lift our arms and legs above the ground, and we're going to squeeze the lower back. So when I say up, both body parts come above the ground and hold for 3 seconds. And up, 3, 2, 1, and down. Up, 3, 2, 1, and down. You guys ladies keep going, keeping everything super, super tight. Now with this one, if you are on the beginner side, hold for about 3 seconds, and you might not be able to come up quite as high with it, and that's okay. Everybody's flexibility levels are different when it comes to this, but making sure you're feeling it right in here and you're squeezing that back. Awesome job, ladies. Now with Sarah here, and the more advanced movement, she's going to hold a little bit longer with this one. So up, squeeze, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Just challenge yourself, really trying to take that advanced movement and making it your own. Again, squeezing and back down. All right, ladies, you're going to stay in this position, and we're going to do something called shoulder stabilization. So you're in that Superman position. We're going to lift your arms up, and all you're going to do is press out and back in, keeping your arms elevated above the ground. So again, this stabilizes the shoulder, really causing an intense burn in that upper body. So if you're a beginner, you're going to hold just like this, but if you're a little bit more advanced, you're going to go ahead and make a Y. So come out, arms stay straight, and come back to the middle. Never dropping those arms. Again, super intense burn in the shoulder, but really, really helps to shape that upper body. All right, you guys ready for the core?
Yes.
Yes, let's do it. So now that we worked the lower, we worked the upper, you can't miss the core. The core is so important. I know Shazia knows, because having a baby in your belly, your ab muscles are pushed all around. They're in there. They're just weakened. So we have to strengthen it. So that's why core is so important. Now we're getting a core workout throughout the whole, all of the exercises, the lower, the upper, you're always holding that core tight. But these exercises really target it specifically. So we're going to go ahead and start with the plank, one of the most easiest fundamental workouts or exercises you can do for the tummy. Now, form is everything when it comes to the plank. So you want to go ahead and hold on your forearms. Now what you don't want to do is butt up in the air. We want to keep your body neutral, stabilized, so that your core is really working. Keeping everything super, super tight. Now, if you're the beginner side, you see Shazia here, her knees are on the ground for this, so she's not able to bring her knees up quite yet, especially since her core is maybe not as strong. So we want to keep those legs, knees on the ground, but still everything from the upper is staying stable and tight. That is awesome, Shazia. Good job. Now, if we want to get a little bit more advanced, like with Sarah here, her knees are above the ground. Everything stays really stable. You can see her body is in a very neutral position. This would be a no-no, and this would be perfect. Okay, so everything stays tight. To make it a little bit more advanced, we're going to lift the leg and alternate. And that, again, just makes the exercise that much harder. Way to go, Sarah. Your tummy should be burning. Really suck that tummy into your spine. We're going to go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and turn around, ladies. We're going to do some obliques. So the bicycle kicks are awesome for the obliques. These are a staple in my workouts, making sure that we keep everything nice and tight in from the side. So we're going to go ahead and lay down on your back. And we're going to do a bicycle movement. So we're here, cycling the legs, opposite arm to opposite leg. Keeping tight. Now again, if we want to make it a beginner type movement, the upper is not going to come into play. Just the legs. So we got to keep the legs moving, the core stays tight. Key to this is keeping the back away from the ground. So flush that back to the ground. Awesome. Everything stays tight. And then we have Sarah here, where she actually adds her upper body into motion. So it's always opposite arm to opposite leg. So if she's taking her left elbow to her right knee, everything stays tight, back flush to the floor. Awesome job, ladies. Keep working that core. This is really going to work those obliques. You guys are doing awesome. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and move on to V-ups. Now, V-ups are awesome because the whole body comes into play. Now, you ladies can stay right there because we're just going to stay on the ground. And I want your whole body parallel to the floor. Now, when you do a V-up, your legs and arms come together. So up and down. And up and down. So we're going to go ahead and start with the more of the beginner exercise here when it comes to the V-ups. So with Shazia, you can see she comes all the way down. She comes together and back down. Now she touches the ground with her feet, which makes it a beginner movement because it's allowing her to rest before she comes back up, using your whole tummy. Awesome job. Go at your own pace because this is a little bit harder of a workout. Awesome job. Now Sarah, you can see her legs are not touching the ground, and that's what makes it advanced. Now when we aren't touching the ground, we're using momentum, and our whole core has to be working with this one so she doesn't get any help from the ground. Awesome job, Sarah. Way to go, ladies. Your core has to be burning. This is awesome. You guys are doing great. So we're going to go ahead and move on to knee drives. So I want you guys to get around on your hands and knees again. And we're going to do something called a knee drive. Again, it's just like a bicycle, but you're on your hands and knees, so you're driving to your knee to your elbow, keeping your core extremely tight. So this is awesome when it comes to core development, hip development, using your core to drive your knee to your elbow. Very, very good when it comes to core training. Now with Shazia here, you can see she's going to go down to her forearms to make it a little bit more beginner style if you're not quite advanced yet, using your core to really push through into that knee drive. And if you're not as advanced either, you're not going to be able to get up quite as high. So you can see she goes as high as she can and comes back down. Awesome job. Keep that core tight. Then we have Sarah. She's really getting into the movement. You can see her knee is coming all the way to her elbow. That's what makes it more advanced. It's awesome. So she's able to get her leg all the way up, whole core comes into play, and back down. That is awesome, ladies. You are doing so good. You're going to have these svelte abs in no time. Way to go. Okay, for our last movement here for the core, we were doing a mountain climber. So we're going to stay in that same position, but what we're doing is you're moving your feet at a faster pace versus a slower pace of the knee drive. So you're on your hands and your toes. And let's go ahead and move into a mountain climber. Back and forth. Core stays tight. Now, key to all of these exercises is your core. I can't stress enough how important it is to keep that tummy tight. With Shazia here, she's moving at her own pace. She's going a little bit slower and using her tummy, everything stays tight and stable. And Sarah here, she has a longer stride. Again, that's what makes it more advanced. She's going a little bit quicker and a little bit longer. So advanced, it's just a little change that you do to make it a little bit more advanced than the beginner. Awesome job, Sarah. You guys are doing so good. I think you guys have had enough today. You've got to be tired. I know you're sweating. This is an awesome workout. Now we have to cool our bodies down. So I want to go ahead and start with toe touches. Now the reason we're going to toe touches is we have to stretch out those hamstrings. We did a lot of lower body movements. So when we stretch, we'll keep ourselves from getting too sore. Awesome job, ladies. Now we're going to reach for the sky, really pull in through that core, taking nice deep breaths. Good, I know you guys are breathing really hard. This is going to bring you back to normal levels, breathing in through your diaphragm, not through your chest. If you want to make it a little bit more advanced, come up onto your tippy toes like Sarah here to get that full stretch. Awesome job, ladies. Now we're going to go ahead and march into place for at least 30 seconds. Good. Just making sure we're calming our breath, breathing in through our diaphragm, and making sure that you drink a lot of water after today. I can't stress how important that is to get that youth H2O in. And right now is the perfect time to get your Burn Meal Replacement Shake in. So, so good. You feed the body, you give it those nutrients that it needs with that Burn Meal Replacement Shake. All right, AM Global, this workout is exclusively for you. I'm Felicia Romero, and that's the Burn Workout.